I'm just modifying the exhaust. I had a bit of an accident at the end of it and I put a flat on it and I couldn't clean it up. So as I've cut this exhaust around anyway, I cut the end off the old bike exhaust and I'm just going to tack this end on, so this is perfectly round here, and we'll push this into the head just right, little arrow pointing to the head. I'll just put a tack on this, wiggle it, make sure the back end of this is right, and then put another tack underneath while it's on the bike, and then I can pull it off and make sure it's good, and then weld it in place off the bike. That's what I'm doing now. Alrighty, you should be able to see that I've lock wired the clutch. Had to drill, these were pre-drilled, but I had to re-drill this guy because the hole wasn't all the way through. So that's been re-drilled. Clutch now, I've spun it and sorted it out, so that's good. I'm going to put the primary cover on, which is up on sitting on top of the table there, held in my vise. It's quite closed quarters in here today because it's raining outside and I don't want to get anything dirty. Also got new tyres for the Tiger for next year's big trip, so I'm going to try and put the primary on. Then I can set the timing mark, get the crank to the timing mark, which is somewhere over here, set the points, I've put the plate or the center plate where I need it to be. In fact, let me do this. So the plate is where it should be, where I'd like it to be, and the rotor in the middle is loose. So I'm going to manipulate that into the right position when I've timed the other side, and then with a piece of tubing, pop it onto just punch it onto the thing, and then tighten the screw up. My previous experience with trying hard not to fall over. Previous experience with boilers was that the screw was too long. So I've cut 1/4 of an inch off the screw that holds the sensor in place prior to fitting it, just so I'm good. What else? Then I've got pieces of exhaust pipe all over the place that are cut up. I've got to shorten the stub into the head because that's too long, so the curve sticks too far out, so I need to bring it back. That'll push the tube through, or push the whole thing forward so the silencer piece sticks out a bit further. I lobster backed it originally, and I've started to cut up the original exhaust pipe. It's got these beautiful curves in it, so I just may use a couple of these to reposition it. What else? Yeah, I think that's it. May start on the carb. It's a rainy day. It's supposed to rain all day today. Just watched the MotoGP from Thailand. A thriller. It's a thrilling season. Yeah. I'm not going to do any spoilers, so they're probably going to watch this after that. So does it matter? Jorge Martin, what a rider. What a rider. So close for Brad Binder as well. And Pecco Bagnaia, who I'd like to see win again. I don't really mind. I don't really mind out of Jorge Martin or Bagnaia. Well, I personally prefer Bagnaia, but they're both incredible riders. That's it. So I've cut the tail end of the exhaust off where I had the lobster back and it poked out here, and I've got it's pushed in nicely now. That's nice and tight in the push in. The bracket's about sort of close to being where it should be. It's going to get cut and sharp. But now I'm looking at the pipe and it's curving off towards this, which makes me think it's almost wants to be cut here and rotated, but I don't know whether I want to. Do I want to do that? If I bring it out a little bit, I can bring it up a little bit. What's it like from above? So from above it's pretty, I mean your legs are going to go here, so it wants to curl back, but it almost like, looking at that piece, so this is my curve, it really almost wants to go, that should go there like that. So I think possibly I want to cut it, I'm going to cut a little bit more off. It's always easier to cut more off than to like cut it here and go, shit, should have put another piece on. Because I'm trying to limit the amount of welds just for the aesthetic. But if I cut it above roughly where the clutch cable is, so that would be sort of like that, and that would then get me down and over here, then I could pick up another curve there and then sort out the pipe out, and then obviously I'm probably going to have to make a new bracket, but I don't really want to bugger around with the silencer bracket. Moving this and changing it I don't really mind, but of course the oil tank's in place with oil in it, so maybe I'll leave this where it is and modify the bracket on the silencer. That's probably the easiest thing. But I think if I came down, so if I come down there, that gives me here to come up ish. I like that. So I think I'll do, and I'm thinking and cutting this, marking the sun, so I'm going to cut, I'm going to take another inch off. It's roughly an inch. So look, we'll measure that and see how close to that being an inch is. Just for giggles, I said that was roughly an inch. Look at that. Hey, 60 years of looking at rulers has paid off. So I've realised this video is probably going to be all about the exhaust pipe. Well, actually most of this video series is going to be all about the exhaust pipe, because I've done a lot of work in between things during my day job, like rebuilding the engine. You didn't really get to see a lot of that, but you did see me do the B25, and the B44 is pretty much exactly the same, just with a bigger piston and longer stroke crank. And now I'm sort of got a day of rain and the house to myself, so I can just spend all day here in the garage in rather close quarters because all the bikes are in here. But anyway, back to the exhaust. So I'm looking at this. I put the stop off the other exhaust. I just cut the bracket. Oh, you can't see it. Cut the bracket off, and it's sort of sticking up. So this gives me a edge to put that on. And now I'm looking at this and how it goes here with this. And I think if I put a cut about there and rotated this piece round, so this pipe came down, was like that, from sort of there, that then could meet up with possibly that, and I'm getting closer to the, I put the silencer on, so I know where I'm aiming for then. I know, brilliant idea, eh? So I can try and get these two together, but I think there definitely needs to be a sort of slice, and I think it's about there, and just rotate round. I know I'm cutting up this original pipe, but after screwing up the headpiece, and I cut the back anyway, so I might as well just make it all go together the way I want it to. So that's what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to mark it, cut about there. I should get a piece of tape. So what I'm doing for cutting is I'm wanting tape round, so I've got a straight edge to follow. You know, if you cut a cylinder, if you take a strip of paper and wind it round tight so both ends meet like that, I'm doing the same thing with tape. And then I'm guaranteed a perpendicular cut, as it were. I mean, obviously I can screw it up with the exhaust pipe, with a hacksaw, because I'm cutting everything with a hacksaw. But I think if I do as I planned, I should be able to. Where's the radius? So it's about there. So the cut wants to be roughly where that. There's a little red piece of thread there. It roughly wants to be there, and just rotate down a little bit. Like come down, so this then comes to about there. So still, I don't think, what am I? I think the footrest comes about here, so I don't think I'll burn my leg, but you never know. That's the plan. So you should be able to see that there's an exhaust pipe in there. I haven't got all of it yet. I've done all of it. I have welded round and cleaned up the welds here. I think I had the rough pipe there last time I turned the camera on. I've cut this and rotated it down so it came down, then cut in a piece of the road bike exhaust. Then there's a couple of pieces of another piece of road bike, then a piece of the high pipe, and then a piece of road bike in there. These last two pieces just tacked in, but I got the silencer on fitting exactly the same way with the same bracket as it was before. I've got more clearance here, which is nice, so it's not down on the, I know it's not a problem to be down that low, but it just, for me, it was just a little bit of a worry. It clears the frame all round, so it's actually better than the one that was previous. So that's what I've done. I've been kicking, every time I come and stand by the bike, I've been kicking it over. I've got oil coming back to the top of the tank now. It's filled up the filter and pushed through, so that's good. So I've primed all the oil circuit. The valve clearances are done. I need to set the ignition. I need to put the primary case on to do that. I'm going to pull the silencer and the header off, and then finish welding all around on these and then clean the welds up. I've been thinking about painting the exhaust pipe, but I think I'm just going to leave it. What happened with the last one, where I had lobster backing and welds, they didn't rust, they just got hot and blued. So I'm hoping this will be the same. I may heat them up with a blow lamp and wipe them with an oily rag to enhance the process, as it were. But I think that's it. What's next? Yeah, that's it. Then it's primary, reject the carb, add fuel, ignition timing, add fuel, give it a go. Yeah, that's about it.